Morning everyone, it's Wendy here from Little Nest Crafts. Thank you for joining me today. I'm doing this video in advance, so when it comes out you will have already seen quite a few participants in Rachel and Bella's latest collaboration, which is called The Crafters Christmas. And so I hope that you've enjoyed what delights they've all been bringing us, and hasn't it been fantastic? And we are, sort of coming towards the end of the collaboration now, so don't lose steam. Please keep supporting everybody who's participating, and yeah, it would be great if you would give them the thumbs up, a like on their videos, and if you could as well, leave them a comment, because it's always great to receive feedback. Christmas is almost upon us, and Rachel produced us another beautiful kit to go along with this collaboration, and I hope that you enjoyed my first video, which was released on the 13th of December. We are now on the 27th, so as I say, it is drawing to a close. I hope that you all had a blessed Christmas, and that you enjoyed time with loved ones, with family, and when this video is being released, I'll be doing the same. We're having a big family get-together, and it'll be great to be with loved ones. And I'd like to wish you all a very happy new year, and hope that 2026 brings you lots of happiness and good health. So without further ado, we'll get into the video, and you'll have seen all of the beautiful papers and kits that Rachel produced. You've got the main journaling pages, you've got the add-on ephemera kit with all your tags and pockets, etc. You've got the fussy cut kit, and I've actually left one of the papers behind, so just bear with me 1 second. It is in here. And you've also got the backgrounds kit, and then, as I say, these were all the collaborators, so you've seen all of these, and we're coming down now to the 27th, and we've got 3 days left. Please like and leave a comment on all the videos, because in order to win the prizes that are being given at the end of this collaboration, you must have done that to be in with a chance of, to be put in the draw, to be in with a chance to win some of the beautiful prizes that Rachel and Bella have got to share with us. So as you know, that there's two of us are being paired up for this video, and for this day, and my partner for today is Jen from Bumblebee Crafts, and the title of our, or should I say the prompt that we've been given, is Scraps Surprise, and I had to go through my videos and pick one of them, send it over to Jen over at Bumblebee Crafts for her to replicate and put her own spin on that project, and I've got to do the same. I'm not going to replicate it and make exactly what I did for the video that I've chosen, but the theme of this project, as I say, is Scrap Surprise. Now, I do love a scrap busting project, and I do love a hidden paper clip, so that's what we're going to be making today. So in order to do that, get all of your scraps out, because this is, as I said, it's going to use up some of your scraps. And what I've done is I've taken some strips. Normally I don't work with plain cards, but I'm not going to waste these, and they're all going to be covered up anyway, so it doesn't matter if you want to take printed pieces like this or plain white pieces like that. Just get what you can. And then it's Christmas, so all the colours. I've got some Christmas ribbon, I've got some lace, I've got leftovers from previous Christmases where I keep all the ribbon and bits. I've got some checkered ribbon there, some twine, so there's a box of goodies there that I'm going to be going through. I've got little buttons, red and green buttons. I've got gold and silver pens to trim along things. I've got little pom-poms. I mean, I might not use these. I've got these I've had from, these must be, I don't know, 20 years old, when it was in the Create and Craft days, when Create and Craft started and I was card making, and these are all Christmas themed brads, so we might be able to use some of those. I've got these, and these are the same from days gone by, and they're little red and green gems. So lots of things in there to be going on with to decorate our hidden paper clips. But before we get decorating, oh, and prior to that as well, I've done this. I've gotten my Cricut out, and I've taken some of Rachel's ephemera, and I've reduced it to the size of 4 to a page. So it makes these things really tiny and ideal for decorating little scrappy bits. So I've got umpteen there to be going on with, and yeah, and I put them on my Cricut, and it's cut them out beautifully. So yeah, so we'll set to and get making these hidden paper clips. So when you look on the internet, there's umpteen ways to make hidden paper clips, and what I've done is I've got my bag of paper clips here. Now, unfortunately, these have got, if you can see, there is a little curled up bit on this middle section here, and ideally you want your paper clips to be nice and flat, but you can still use these, and I'm going to use these. So, but it just means that when you actually fold your paper, you'll have a bit of a bump there. So as well as your scraps, as well as all your bits and bobs for decorating, you need your paper clips. You might need a corner rounder and a tag maker, but you don't really, you can do that by hand, you don't have to have those. What else might you need? I'm just thinking. Pair of scissors and some ink to do your blending of your corners. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Oh, and some glue. So I'm going to be getting my Fabri-Tac out, and I've got a little pot of PVA glue there as well. Yeah, so we'll carry on. So what I'm going to be doing is taking one of my big strips, and these are just the end of an A4 sheet of paper left over from some project that I've done. No measuring involved really on here. You can make them as big and as long as you want. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half. Now, if I was using printed paper, I would put the printed section on the inside to start with. Is that right? Am I telling you right? Let's have a look. I would, oh, it's not long enough. Anyway, I would put the printed paper, because this is going to be folded upwards. That's right. So you'd have this side as your printed piece, fold it in half and score it, and then put your paper clip in the middle. And these paper clips are an inch long, and I'm going to pop it in the centre there. And then what we're going to do is, and this is really easy, it's one of the easiest ways of making a hidden paper clip. I'm going to fold that up, and I'm going to leave a bit of a tab at the top. If you can see there, it's going a little bit beyond the top of our fold there. And then turn it over, and with this one, make it slightly shorter than the other one. And it's only marginally, so that it just makes it easy when you want to slide your paper clip on your page, that you've got a little bit there. You know, it's easier for you to find the fold, as it were, the entrance to where you want your papers to go on your journal. And that is it. Now, if you want a fancy top, for those of you who haven't got a punch like this, you know, you can just trim the top, and I'll show you what to do now. So you're just taking that little bit of excess off so that they're both level, and then all you need to do is make this tab shaped. So I'm just taking one of the pieces of paper that we just cut off, flipping it over, putting it on your corner there, and cutting your tab there. And that is basically it. So then you want to get your glue. So I'm going to use my normal glue for this. Oops, sorry, it's a bit mucky because the needles and pins that I've got aren't stainless steel, unfortunately. I bought them as stainless steel ones, but they're obviously not. And then turn it over and glue the other side. we go. Okay. And I've left this unglued for now, just while I trim it. Just neatening the edges to make sure they're all level. Now then, because it's Christmas, I've got some of this tulle, and I think what I'm going to do first is we're going to cover this with some book page and some of the papers from the kit. So let's have a look what we've got in the way of book page here. Excuse my arms, everybody. There we go. So I'm just going to tear off the edge bit here. Oopsie daisy. Oops. There we go. And let's have a shufty. There we go. So I'm going to pop some glue on. And we'll ink the edges. There we are. And the beauty of these paper clips is you decorate both sides, so that when they're in your journal and you turn your page, you've got a beautiful thing both sides. So there we go. And then we'll get some Christmas paper. So we've got a little piece here. So let's have a look. That might be nice to put along there. So I'm going to just make sure it's long enough. Yeah. Oopsie daisy. Come down like that. Now then, I'm just going to lift that a little bit actually, so that I can put the book page over the top if it's not too late. There we go. Lovely. So if I can tear off this bit. Try and keep that super duper. So just putting my decorative paper along the edge. Well, I should have used the book page last really, but not to worry. There we are. Take that off there. And I don't want to hide those cherries, so I'm going to come down and just come down a little bit more. There we go. And I'll just patch that bottom bit up. because it doesn't matter, we're using scraps. And that bottom bit will actually be hidden anyway with decorative pieces. There we go. So that's our first section there. And we'll do the same on the back, where I'll come the opposite side, I think. Let's have a look. Or maybe just use this corner bit. Yeah. We'll use this corner bit and do the same on this side. There we go. And just make sure that we're still on track. And we'll get a little bit of book page to go in that corner there. Let's have a look. Not quite big enough. Let's do another. Have a look. There we go. There we are. So we'll ink the edges. Pop on some glue. Take off the excess. So, there we go. So that's the basis of our tag, sorry, our paper clip. And we'll ink around the edges just to get the white away. There we are. Super duper. And then it's a matter of decorating now. I want to put a little pocket on here. So let's have a look what we've got. I'm just wondering, we could put a little pocket from there, because that colour actually would look fine. So I'm going to do that. Cut that to there. And cut it along that section there. There we go. Because you're not going to see the decor. So we'll pop our pocket on. There we go. And then we'll get our little pieces of ephemera, and we've got umpteen little pieces here, so we've got all sorts to play with. Got little rocking horses. We've got, oh, that might be nice, a little bauble and a rocking horse. And I'm just going to dampen that down a little bit there. And where did my snowbally tool go? So we're going to cut some of this to go on our pocket. Oh, I could even put it on the back so it looks like snow splatters. No, pocket, Wendy, pocket. Yeah, so we'll take a bit of this off. And cut that down there. And then using my fab attack, I'm just going to go over the front of the pocket to stick it down. There we go. And then we've got some little ephemera pieces that we can put in the pocket. A couple of Christmassy tags to go in. There and there. Now then, what else could we put? I think what I'm going to do is on this section here at the back, I'm going to put our nutcracker. So he's popping out. Just hides the text a little bit and gives it more of a Christmas theme. And we've got Santa there. Pop him in. And let's have a look at some of this ephemera. We've got little banners. Let's have a peep. Just having a, you're actually spoilt for choice. So we've got a little lady maybe, and a bauble going on the front of there. Oh no, that'll do. Wanted something a little bit smaller. There we go. Perfect. So we've got a little bauble there. And I don't mind that they're hanging off the page a little bit. And we've got a little present there. And then we've got lots of Christmas sentiments, and we've got a good one here, Holiday Harmony. So we'll cut that off there, from there. And I have printed these really small, so it enables us to use them for small snippets and bits and pieces. I'm going to use my Fab-A-Tap because it's going to be gluing onto that tool. There we go. And we'll pop that there. Holiday Harmony. And just glue that down. And then what we want to do is make our little hole at the top for our ribbon. There we go. And what have we got? Let's have a look, see what this is. This is a scrap of ribbon from a few years ago. It's not quite the right red. This is more of a burgundy red. So let's get a little piece of this and we'll pop it through there. And well, oops. There we go. Get my stapler. And we'll staple it onto there. Lovely. Now I'm just going to stop my ribbons from fraying by just melting the ends. And then we're going to get one of our little ribbons and pop it at the top. Is that one? Oh, we've got a little key. Or even a little bell. Or a little wreath. Ooh. I don't want that to cover that up so much, really. Let me just see if I've got something a bit smaller. Yeah, it just hides the staple on the front there. So that is the front of our little tag, our little hidden paper clip. And as you know, if that's the page of your journal, your paper clip just slides on the top and it helps you hold documents and things. Let me just get a proper sheet. We'll show you on here. There we go. So it tucks on the top of your page. So we need to do the rear, and I think what we could do there is possibly put a little side pocket, and I've got some, oh no, let's go with a pocket at the bottom again. And these are coloured gold, so that's not very straight, Wendy. So let's have a look. We'll ink the edges. There we go. Pop it on. Try not to get too much glue on it. Or shall we do a side pocket? Yeah, we'll do a side pocket. And then we can put in some of our little mini ephemera. So we've got this one, and find another one, another little teeny one. That can go in there. And then what have we got? We've got a little banner there that we could hang on the top. That pocket. And something to go on the top of the banner. Let's have a look. Yeah, we've got a little key. So really simply done, and we'll put a little sentiment on that side as well. So let's have a look what we've got. Berry garland. Let's have a look. See whether that looks. Excuse my dogs barking. Whenever Chris moves, they think they're going for a walk. Amber gets really excited. There we go. So, same again, just ink around the edges. So tiny. Does that one look okay there, or should I go for one that's green? Santa's Helpers, Ginger Spice, Blissful Yuletide. Let's have a look at that one. We'll have a look. Let's have a look, let's have a look. I can barely get hold of it. Right. Now, let's keep it with the one that we chose first. I just feel it needs something, a little something behind it maybe. How about if we take a little piece? Oh, let's have a look first. I'm going to ink it and stick it on that white paper. And then we'll ink around the white paper. I just want to give it a bit of an edge. Like so. And it makes it a bit more substantial. So we'll just take the whiteness off it a little bit. And yeah, that's better. It just sort of framed it to make it stand out a little bit more. And we'll go across like that. So that is our first paper clip. And I'm just wondering if we can find something to go on that. Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. Nope. What could we put? Just bear with 1 second. I've got these little red faux pearls that I can get in them. There we go. And we'll put some fab attack along the top there. Oops. Gosh, you can never find your way into these things. I just want to hide the paper clips. So I think 3 of those would look nice. And they're just the shade that we want. Oops. There we go. Make sure they're fairly straight. There. Lovely. Tidy my desk up a bit. So okay, so there we've got that side decorated and we've got that side decorated. So that's our first one. We'll do one more. Prior to doing that, I think just to make it a bit more opulent, I'm going to just have a look and maybe put a bit of bling on these by going around the edges. It's some gold. Just go underneath there a little bit. If I remember, I'll do this before we decorate the other one. So I'll do this side as well. And these are metallic craftwork pens, and I either got them from the range or I got them from Amazon. Because that's where I get most of my crafting things from. So there we go. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, not straight, because it's these are handmade items. So that makes it a little bit more, gives it a little bit more bling. Right, so that's our first tag made, and we'll commence doing our second tag, which was exactly the same principle. So we'll fold that over in half and then put on our paper clip. And then we'll fold this up, leaving a section higher and a section lower at the back. So we'll do it like that. And then that way you can see you've just got this this little lip here. And then we'll cut off the excess at the top because you want them to both be level. And for those of you who have this tab punch, what we're going to do is make a fancy tag at the top. So we'll pop that in, and because it's not, we want the centre hole to be central on the tag, I'm going to judge so that we've got space either side of there. Push the tag right up to the top, and then we're going to cut it so that, in fact, what I'm going to do is, it might be best if I take that staple out for now, just to get the paper in properly. So let's have a look, that's better. And I'm going to judge on the back there so that we've got equal sides as near as. And I think we'll call it that. There we go. And there we have it. We've got a nice shaped tag at the top. There we go. And we'll pop our paper clip back in. And it has actually made, because this was fairly high up, it's made a bit of a divot, which is nice because our paper clip then can sit in that little hole and it doesn't interfere with, if you want to put an eyelet in there, you'll still be able to do that. You shouldn't really need one in this because you've got double thickness, so it should be quite sturdy. So now what I'm going to do is glue our sides closed. Pop that one down. And we're going to glue the top half as well. Glue this one down. There we go. Now normally if I was making these, instead of using just ordinary book page, I'd find some music page or some text that was related to Christmas, but as I'm using scraps, I'm just using scraps. So we'll do something like so. I come down to the corner there. There we go. And we'll ink this, but I won't glue it down this time. I'll glue it after. I don't need to ink that side. And I've got some Christmas paper here. Quite like that tartan, so we'll have a look here. And maybe you should put your paper on first before you, oh, excuse me, before you put it in your tag. In your tag punch, should I say. I'm using some, I printed on the wrong sheet of paper. I'd forgotten I'd put some work in my printer. But not to worry. So we'll glue this on. Oops. Let's have a and I'll pop that over there. So that it's fitting all on the tag. And then we're going to glue this on as well. That's one side, and then we'll just trim off the excess. That's one side done. And we'll do the same the other side. So what we got? We'll pop that side, and shall we use the darker side on there? Yeah. So we'll glue this side. Oops. And then we'll ink up these edges, and we'll glue this side. Oops, a daisy. Oops. There we go. And same again, we'll cut off the excess. There we are. So now we'll get our ink and ink around the edges. Ink on the inside of there. There we go. Around the outside of there. And then what I'll do, I'll punch the hole back in when it's dried off a little bit. So that's that. And then same again, we'll give it a little tag. Sorry, a little pocket. Gold one on this side. Just using up our scraps. Lovely. Now then, before I do that, let's give it some gold edging. There we go. So we'll pop that down there. And we'll go around the edges. It doesn't really want to go on because it's a bit wet. There we go. Do you like the dark green? There we go. So it's a matter of making another little pocket on there. I'm going to go from the bottom because it says Charles Dickens on there. And we'll do a little deeper pocket, I think. And same again, ink around the edges. And I might even use my corner rounder to round the corners on this one. And then same again. Oops. And then we'll ink around the corner edges of there. Oh dear, can't draw a straight line to save my life. There we go. So same again, we'll put this one on sideways. Oh, shall we? Because it says Charles Dickens. No, I'm going to put that one on bottom. There we go. So same again. Another pocket. Get my there we go. Now then, we've got a postcard there. And a little postcard there. And then we've got two little postcards in here. And are we going to put some mesh on? Yeah, I think we will. Let's have a look. You don't use these things, they just end up staying in the cupboard, don't they? So we'll pop a bit on there. There we go. So put my Fabri-Tac on. And I'm not sure I'm going to put it all on there, but because we'll hide the Charles Dickens, so we'll just put it on the one side on this one. And let's have a look what we got in the way of decor. Yeah, I like that. So we'll put our little key on there. And we'll turn him over. And what we got for this one? We've got a little boot. We've got blissful Yuletide. And we can, let's have a look. Put a nice little doily. Yeah, one of the nice lovely little doilies that Rachel's done. I mean, in the kit they're a lot bigger than that. Does need inking though around the edge. So we'll put our little boot on. then I'm going to give this a little bit of a backing like we did the other one. And then we'll ink. We'll just cut the edges first. So I've got border, oops, and a bit of a border on that one. And make sure it's straight, which it's not currently. And then we'll ink the edge as well. How about going like that? I think so. Maybe just take it down a tad. And a tad along the bottom. Let's have a look now. Yeah. Oops, I'll use, since it's got the mesh on it, I'll use Fab-Attack. There we go. So all we need to do now is put a eyelet in the top, and I can roughly feel where it's going to go. And then we'll put an eyelet in and get something on the back. So I'll pop that in there, this on the back. And there we are. And the beauty about those is you can make these tags sideways on and use them as a tab. Just put your pocket in a different angle, you know, like that. I mean, if that hadn't got Christmas on and I decorated it differently, you could, you know, put your things in that way, which doesn't matter. So we'll give it some of this lovely ribbon, and what I'm going to do is poke it through like so. Needs to be a little bit longer, I think. There we go. And then just get my tweezers and pull that through. Oopsie daisy. There we go. I do love this ribbon. And then we'll get our and you know, by burning the ends it does help where they've frayed a little bit as well. Just take your time when you do it. There we go. Turn it round. Just be careful you don't burn your fingers when you touch the ribbon, because it will have melted and it sticks to your fingers like billio. There we go. Why hasn't that? 1 second, everybody. For some reason it's not gone neatly. There we go. Try it now. Let's see. That's a bit better. That's better. Okay. Let's get them to open apart a little bit. And I'm just thinking if we need to have something on there, what have we got that we can put? We have got another Christmas soldier, yeah, not soldier, nutcracker. And then which side shall I put him? Yeah, this side. There we go. We just have him poking out the tag. So that's my little project finished, everybody. I do hope that you've enjoyed following along, and I'm going to be making lots more behind the scenes to use all my little fussy cuts. And yeah, I do hope that you'll finish watching everybody else's videos. So I've been behind the scenes and I've done another couple of these lovely little hidden paper clips, and thought I'd give you a closer up look at them. And there we go. And these are great for hiding little things in. I mean, you could put a little gift card in, and that's what the surprise is, I suppose, in the prompt that Rachel gave us. It was incorporated a surprise. You could even put a chocolate behind there, you know, instead of putting your pocket glued straight on. If you made some little tabs so the pocket was a bit deeper, you could use them as little advent, you know, great little advent surprises as well, you know, for your advent calendar. Make a little box for them, and yeah, you could stack them behind one another and put the days of the, you know, the days 1 to 24 on, and have a little box, make a lovely, you know, sit on your shelf, and you could take them and use them as little advent calendars as well. So another little idea for you, and I'd like to thank you all for your support, to not only me, to everybody during the collaboration. And I'd like to wish you all once again a very happy new year, and I hope that 2026 will bring you peace, joy and good health. So until my next video, I'll say bye for now. Bye.